The Lazy Gang's Hypocritical Fundraising Amid Troubles, a comedy of errors and crimes. Ever notice how the loudest critics are often the biggest hypocrites? Buckle up, folks, because we're diving headfirst into the chaotic world of the Lazy Gang, where principles are as flexible as a politician's promises, and the drama is thicker than ugali. Remember when the Lazy Gang was all about, well, laziness? Suddenly, they're paragons of virtue, begging for your hard-earned shillings online. It's like watching a sloth try to win a marathon. Perplexing, to say the least. One minute, they're roasting everyone else. The next, they're hitting you up for donations. What gives? Subscribers are scratching their heads, wondering if they accidentally stumbled into a parallel universe. Turns out, the Lazy Gang's pockets are emptier than a politician's promises after elections. Financial hardship has a funny way of making even the laziest folks suddenly industrious, or at least creatively desperate. The whole "let's beg for money online" idea seems to have originated with the table mic guy and his merry band of enablers. You know, the ones who usually just nod and agree with whatever ridiculous thing he says. But it was the fishmonger dude from Nyabahanse who really seized the opportunity. He saw a chance to turn this pathetic idea into a full-blown, tear-jerking, guilt-tripping cash grab. This fishmonger, bless his entrepreneurial heart, is a master of the hustle. He's like the Machiavelli of online begging, turning misfortune into a lucrative business model. And what a strategy it is! First, he spun a sob story about his beloved dogs going missing. Cue the violins and the strategically placed puppy dog eyes. Of course, the disappearance wasn't just a random act of canine misfortune. Oh no, it was the fault of his detractors, those shadowy figures who apparently spend their days plotting against a fishmonger. He even claimed to feel unsafe, despite being surrounded by 3 female dogs. I mean, come on! Are we supposed to believe that 3 chihuahuas can't protect him from the internet trolls? The pièce de résistance, an urgent plea for donations to build a security wall, because apparently a concrete barrier is the only thing standing between him and, well, I'm not entirely sure what he's protecting himself from, but it sounds terrifying. The whole thing is a spectacle of dramatic appeal, a masterclass in emotional manipulation. You almost have to admire the sheer audacity of it all. Almost. The irony, of course, is thicker than the fishmonger's security wall. These are the same guys who spent years criticizing others for their fundraising tactics. They used to mock anyone who dared to ask for help, labeling them as scammers and con artists. Now they're doing the exact same thing they once condemned. Talk about a plot twist. The internet, naturally, has not been kind. Accusations of hypocrisy are flying faster than insults at a political rally. The general consensus? They're pathetic. While the rest of the Lazy Gang are just embarrassing themselves, the fishmonger is in a whole different league. He's not just begging for money, he's potentially facing serious legal consequences. He's trying to restore life to normalcy, posting pictures of himself looking all innocent and carefree. But let's be real. The situation is far more serious than he's letting on. Unlike his fellow Lazy Gang members, the fishmonger is in direct conflict with the law. He didn't just offend someone, he allegedly wounded the law itself. The authorities' seemingly relaxed stance is deceptive. Don't be fooled by the lack of immediate action. They're not ignoring him. They're playing the long game. They're gathering intelligence, meticulously building a case. Think of it as a slow-cooked stew of justice, simmering until it's ready to be served. They're monitoring his contacts, tracking his financial backers. They want to know who's enabling this behavior, who's funding his, let's call it creative fundraising. They're waiting for the right time to cleanse the system, to send a message that you can't just break the law and then beg your way out of trouble. Fighting the police and pretending nothing happened is a grave mistake. It's like poking a sleeping lion with a stick and then acting surprised when it wakes up angry. His failure to surrender and resolve the matter is only escalating the situation. He's digging himself a deeper hole, one poorly worded Instagram post at a time. He seems to think he can just charm his way out of this mess. But the law doesn't care about charm. It cares about evidence. And the evidence, shall we say, isn't exactly in his favor. Remember all those times he bragged about his influential connections within the legal system? Siblings who are prosecutors, judges, and high-ranking officers. Turns out, those connections are about as real as his remorse for allegedly wounding the law. Surprise! Surprise! He's been exposed as a fraud, a pretender with no real power. His empty boasts are just that. Empty. This whole saga is a reminder that accountability matters. You can't just break the law, beg for forgiveness and money, and expect everything to be okay. Underestimating the law is a dangerous game, and the fishmonger is about to learn that the hard way. The consequences could be far more severe than he ever imagined. What a story! From lazy critics to hypocritical fundraisers to potential lawbreakers, the Lazy Gang has given us a front-row seat to a comedy of errors and possible crimes. Now, here's the call to action. Don't be a passive observer. Share this video with your friends, your family, even your enemies. Let's make sure everyone knows about the Lazy Gang's antics. Subscribe to this channel for more juicy gossip, insightful commentary, and scathing social critiques. And most importantly, let us know in the comments. What do you think will happen to the fishmonger? Will he get away with it, or will justice finally be served? Let's discuss.